Yo, what's up? It's TND and welcome to another episode of TND Won't Shut Up,
where we discuss and debate relationship topics from a healthy couple's perspective.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel for weekly discussions and share with a friend or two.
Or three.
Or four.
Or five.
Or six. Or seven. Or eight. Or nine.
All right, how you feeling, baby?
Hey. I am feeling amazing, y'all. So I think last week I shared that I was taking a huge test, and y'all, I am proud to announce that I have officially passed. Clap it up for me.
Congratulations, baby.
Yes. So I'm so proud of myself, y'all.
She put a lot of hard work into this, a lot of sacrifice.
I really did.
But I had no doubt.
Thank you, baby. So nonetheless, we went to dinner last night. We partied last night. We celebrated. We had some drinks. So we didn't even get a chance to watch this episode, y'all. So we are actually watching and recording and in real time. And
we're staying true to our trying to get a video out the day after the episode airs.
Yes.
All
and
right.
But let's thank them, baby. They've been giving us a lot of love, baby. We're getting a lot of love these days. We're getting a lot of views. We still love to have some of you guys like and subscribe because we're trying to grow our channel. But we really appreciate the love we have been getting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what are we talking about today, boo?
All right. So today we're discussing Season 9, Episode 5, Pajama Jam.
Pajama Jam.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Me too, baby, because I had to block the Ready to Love group, y'all, because things just kept on popping up on my timeline. So I blocked this so I won't find out what happened. So we are watching real time and let's talk about it,
Let's get into it.
All right. So in the first scene, the men meet at the men's lounge, right? And everybody meets Justin for the first time, and they're all saying their little commentary. Some people say he's no competition, and Laron says that he ain't gonna take his woman. So that was kind of funny. And then Tommy announced that Laylin left. Nobody was checking for her anyways. I think Chaz said something about he was looking forward to build a connection or something with her, but nonetheless, that's all. Nobody was there for her anyways. And then Tommy announced going to an old school pajama party. So they're all going to get together and have a pajama party. So I'm really excited about seeing that. And Alonzo said he's excited about seeing Patrice and Rashina in that setting, which is kind of strange because we did not know he had a connection with Rashina, right?
Yeah, I didn't know
so that. We didn't know, so I'm ready to find out.
All right, so in the next scene, we have actually two dates. One is between Dominique and Alexis, and I guess they're in some type of place where you do stretching, and I don't know what that place is called. A stretch studio. And then there's Laron and Vanessa, who are doing some paddleboarding. Paddleboard yoga out in some river, right? So with Dominique and Alexis, it definitely seemed like a pretty good date. There was a little bit of banter between the two while they were getting stretched out. Mm-hmm. Dominique talking about, he's glad he didn't have milk or any dairy products.
Yeah, no, I hate this. Baby, you know how much I hate fart jokes and dookie jokes. I don't like any of that. So I was like, actually, I didn't like that, but it was funny. He makes you laugh, so.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. Then they broke into a more intimate type conversation, and I was actually hearing some really good things from Dominique. So I think she had pointed out first that she's kind of looking for something that kind of emulates maybe what she has saw with her parents and her grandparents. I'm assuming that was a real healthy situation. By the way, I'm always a little reluctant to just, buy into a person saying that they want things to look like their parent and grandparents, because sometimes you have a false sense of a functional situation just because maybe you were a child or you kind of see what you want to see.
Right.
But the reality is some of these generations before us, things weren't as healthy as they looked. Mm-hmm. I just want to put that out there. But it was positive what she was saying.
Yes.
And then also Dominique, I kind of saw, some maturity there emotionally. Like, some of the things that he was saying, I love the fact that he was emphasizing, not just talking, but showing with action, right?
Right.
And she was smiling, she was smitten, she was receiving that. So I thought they were very aligned in that conversation, and I see what could be the start of a connection right there.
Yes, I definitely agree. I know Alexis is no longer my favorite, but I'm gonna tell you that girl is a chameleon. Okay, she is really good at working the room, reading the room, and adjusting where she needs to, and I like that about her. And what did he call her? A player? Something about a player?
Yeah, he's giving her player energy or
yeah,
vibes,
something like that.
Like
but
that.
basically, he's saying somebody who know how to read the room and adjust. Basically, what I just said. That's what he's saying. I wish you would have worded it different, right?
Yeah, that's not
calling
really the best.
Player was a little off,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, great date. They look good together. The date was beautiful. I like how even when they were talking to each other, they were looking at each other like they were genuinely interested. So I liked it. They look nice together. I have nothing negative to say, right?
Yeah, I think it was a positive date.
too.
I'm looking forward to see what comes of that.
So are we gonna do stretch date or not?
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean, I do some stretches for my workouts, but this is stretching on another level.
Right.
So. All right, if you're still listening at this point, please take a second to like and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to grow our channel. We got great content that's going to be coming out in the future, in addition to our Ready to Love commentary.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now in the next scene, Laron and Vanessa, they're doing their paddle boarding. Laron is definitely not the most athletic, coordinated type guy. That just showed. I mean, the guy was struggling just to even lay on the board. But whatever. Not everybody is good in that type of area. And I will say that being on the water, some people get nervous. There's the whole swimming thing,
Right.
and some people can't even swim. So I get it. Vanessa, she was looking kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Body was bodying.
Yeah,
she looked good. Two kids, baby.
2 kids,
and she looked like that. And I saw little cuts and abs, and you could tell that she's pretty fit. So
yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely. The yoga clothing definitely accentuaed all that.
Yeah.
All right, so they did their thing. Seemed like that was fun, for the little time that Laron was actually able to be on the board. Then they, broke away into their kind of intimate conversation. And it seems the elephant in the room with Laron is always the party boy assumption that everybody has about him.
Right.
It comes up in any conversation that he has with any of the women, and actually in the ladies' lounge, they all talked about it as well. But we've started to see a different side of him. He's communicated in a previous episode, what he envisions, like if he has a woman and some kids and this and it's definitely different than partying Wednesday through Sunday.
But you have to keep in mind, he's the one who said he wants to party. He likes partying Wednesday through Sunday. Isn't that what he said in his introduction?
He did.
So I don't understand why he's mad talking about some of the women gonna like.
Well, I think so. It goes two ways. I mean, I totally understand why people are talking about it. I mean, the guy said he parties Wednesday through Sunday. That is pretty extreme. But then, as he was explaining to Vanessa, he's single. He has no children, and he is. He comes off as kind of a social person.
Right.
And he's like, I don't want to be a hermit in my crib, so this is kind of my outlet. But that clearly conflicts with a person like Vanessa, who is not living that type of lifestyle, who has 2 children. She probably rarely gets out there like that, So, honestly, he's defending himself. I see himself doing that with any of these women because, rightfully so, they do have their questions. But I don't see a connection here just because the lifestyles are so different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you on that, baby. I do not see a connection at all. Like I said, even if Laron's not a party guy, he still needs someone with a little bit more energy and some spunk. So for me, I see Maya being a little bit more appropriate for Laron, right?
I agree.
Somebody with some energy, because he likes to get out. He's like us, baby. Yeah. We like to get out. Yes. Like last night we were partying. We were the ones on the dance floor. We had a blast. And I would not want to date anyone, or you wouldn't even want to date anyone who don't know how to enjoy life like we enjoy life. Very similarly, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in her case, I don't know that, even if she wants to get out there like that, if her situation with the children, but if it's not conducive to that, she can't do it anyway.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I do think that's a major consideration when you're actually thinking of a long-term relationship with someone.
Right.
And then also, is he even ready or willing to take on these 2 children? I mean, I didn't hear any conversation about, forget the partying thing. If he actually was to get with Vanessa, is he ready to take on that role? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing anything about that.
And sometimes I feel like a lot of men would say, yeah, I'll take on that role, but that's a huge responsibility. Huge. And I feel like if you don't have kids and you really don't have to do that, why do that, But nonetheless, they're not a match.
Yeah, I don't see this going anywhere.
But they're respectful towards each other.
Yeah.
Just not a match, clear as day.
Yeah. But a good date.
Yeah.
All right, so in the next scene, we got the Pajama Jammy Jam. So everybody came through, with their pajamas. A couple outfits might have came from Walmart, just saying, not judging though.
Kosheia's outfit looked like it came from Walmart.
Yeah.
What was your favorite outfit from the women?
I don't know. I didn't. Oh, I like Vanessa's.
Me too. Vanessa was top.
Good.
And also Maya's was cute too.
Yeah, Maya's was cute.
Yeah, those were top 2 that I loved. And for the men, I know I don't like Will, but I actually liked what he had on. I thought it was a little stylish, a little too much for my liking, but he still looked nice. I know those were like Gucci slides or something like that he had on. He looked good. It was nice. I like his the pajamas. That was my favorite pajamas.
Okay.
For the men.
Yeah, a little flashy.
It's a little flashy, more than what I would.
Does he wear his gold chain to sleep?
Exactly. Like those kind of things. I'm talking about just the attire. Together. It was nice, clean, and
I agree. All right, so.
Wait, Alonzo with his bonnet, baby.
Oh yeah,
I forgot. That was cute.
Yeah. But he got the lock, so I understand how it goes.
It was cute. It fits his personality.
Exactly. So all right, so they had a little mini confessional with Kosheia as everybody was coming into the jam, and she said something like she welcomes all conversations with anybody, but she specifically said she prefers those that have smoke or something like that, especially those with the smoke. That is actually somewhat consistent with what we've been seeing with her. I mean, because most people do not want the smoke,
I don't
right?
want no smoke, not at this big age.
You want some meaningful, substantive conversations. Then Jonathan, they pan to Jonathan and Alexis. And, Jonathan, it seems he's really feeling Alexis right now. He actually told her that he liked her, right? So he was professing that. He talked about how relaxed and comfortable he was around Alexis. But Alexis, seemed a little bit reluctant, to just, kind of fall into that. I think she said something like, she has to wait and see if Jonathan has another side to him. And I think we all feel that way, especially with what happened between him and Mika and how he didn't say he was married. I think Jonathan is one of them dudes that could be up to something. But we'll have to see. What did you think?
I just felt like he confessed or professed his love or his like or his admiration for Alexis. And I love that he said he says, I'm very comfortable around Alexis. And I like that because it's exactly what Alexis been showing so far all season. Like, she's just that chameleon. She knows how to make everyone feel comfortable. And so I like that he did say that, but then he professed that he's interested, and I didn't see that she was really interested, right?
I don't see it
at all.
I don't see it. I think that hesitance, maybe that has come through some sidebar conversations that she's had with the other women about it. I'm not saying, but he's definitely looking, checking for her.
And they look cute together too.
Yeah. All right, so then the next little sidebar was between Dominique and Mika.
Oof.
Yeah, and so just the body language on Mika, I wasn't seeing a woman who was really interested in Dominique, which is interesting because in previous episodes, Dominique just went MIA in a couple episodes. But
welcome back, Dominique.
Yeah, welcome
back. We forgot to welcome you back. Yeah. Welcome back, Dominique.
I thought he was with Glenn or something.
Exactly, him and Glenn hanging out.
Right, but and if you recall, before he went MIA, I think they had kind of like a little connection. I remember her even saying at one of the ladies' lounge, like her interest was Dominique.
But I don't even think it was that deep of a connection, to be honest.
No, it was just a good
very
conversation.
Surface, yeah.
So whatever, they're sitting down talking, and Mika has pointed out from day one that she's not really interested in having kids. I believe it's Dominique who said he wanted 2 to 10. All right. Huge disconnect. I don't see how you even bridge that gap. So to me, it doesn't matter how they're vibing. This is never going to work. And, you know, I guess she kind of gave a little opening for, you know, if it was the right person in the situation. But she's leaning way towards, or more towards, no children at all.
Yes.
And so I think for Dominique, that's pretty much a no-go, you know? And then he also said that he has no romantic connection to her. So
he didn't say he don't. He said he's trying to. He said he's not sure if it's a romantic connection, but he know that they like each other.
Okay.
He didn't say none. But I don't see it, y'all.
I'm not seeing
Mika is horrible at flirting. Mika is horrible at looking at you in the eye, making you feel a little special. Mika needs skills, dating skills, and she'll be out very soon. She's a beautiful woman, but I just don't think that she knows how to grasp a man attention. She doesn't even know how to have a good conversation. Her body language, her eye contact, no smile. The eyes aren't smiling. Like, it's just nothing there.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing there but a beautiful face. Even her conversation is very lackluster. Right, baby?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. There's no flirtatious energy,
At all.
and actually, it's kind of the energy that she gave off to Jonathan when she's questioning Jonathan. It's just this kind of like, I'm only going to ask questions. I'm only going to, you know, there's going to be nothing here than just the process.
Yeah.
And you got to do something outside of that. That's how you bring a man in. That's how you draw a man in. So I don't see any connection.
Yeah, me too. And she also says she's been having kids since she was 18. So that tells me, I'm not judging. I'm not too sure if she has 1 or 2 baby daddies. What do you think?
No comment.
Really?
All right.
So the camera pans over to like just everyone, but they highlighted Kosheia and Laron's connection. So it basically looks like Kosheia is working the room, and she walks up to Justin and she's like, "Oh, I'm so attracted to you. I told people that you're so cute, but we gotta need to put a little bit of weight on him." I was like, "Girl,"
Which I ain't understand.
that was a little weird to me, first of all. But that's like a Southern thing. They don't feel like men they feel like they gotta feed a man and make him a little heavy, you know. 210 pounds. I'm like, what?
The dude's in good shape.
Exactly.
He's good. Like, yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah.
And then the whole time you see Laron eyes looking at Kosheia, he's a little jealous.
Feelings.
He said that Koshia's kind of been MIA a little, but I feel like Kosheia is right now working the room and she's really feeling Justin.
Yes.
Right? You saw the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, but
and she did exactly what she said she was going to do. She's like, you know, I'm going to talk to everybody. I know she said she was looking for the smoke, but clearly there ain't no smoke to be found.
Right.
But she was making her rounds. And Laron, you know, in his feelings. Because they did have a little connection early on. I remember they were sitting there by the pool or whatever talking. Right. But apparently she ain't checking for him no more.
Exactly. And now Justin's in the picture. You got to remember, in the earlier, Laron said he ain't taking my girl.
Right.
Ooh,
yes.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Now the tables turn.
It's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Look how Justin creeping in.
You're right.
All right. Yeah. All right. So next scene, Tommy comes in to the Pajama Jam. You know, kind of makes everyone aware of the fact that someone's going home. Mm-hmm. And I guess that was a surprise to everyone. No one was expecting that. And then it breaks to a little conversation between William and Mika, right? And I think William, William was just being real direct, just telling Mika that she's cool and all that, but there's no connection. And I thought that was very direct. But at the end of the day, this is what people need to do. I mean, you're going to save yourself time. You're going to save them time. If there's not a connection, there's not a connection. Mm-hmm. And then Will, meanwhile, is basically trying to find out who is the girl who said that he was sleeping on the floor.
He didn't know who it was. Like, come on. You didn't have this conversation with everyone, so... Exactly. You know who you had this conversation with. So the fact that you got to go walking around trying to find out who said it, just go to the person you said it to. You know who you said it to, or something in that.
Right. Hey, I thought so too. Although maybe he thought that, you know, whomever he said it to told it to the other girls, and then other girls were calling him broke and this, that. I don't know what the whole point of that was, but long story short, he did find out who said it. It was clearly Patrice. And, you know, I'm not going to excuse Patrice completely because, you can't make certain assumptions unless you absolutely know. Because the problem with that is you start spreading that around and then people are taking what you said as the truth.
Right.
But Will did not clearly explain the situation. And, a lot of people, as I have mentioned in the previous episode, they are unaware of the real estate game. They don't understand the process of staging. So Will has to be a little bit more informative about the process so that nothing gets misconstrued.
Yes.
All right. So they're both at fault here. He's at fault for not clearly explaining it. She's at fault for not clearly understanding the situation and then telling all the girls something that ain't the case.
Exactly.
But, I don't think she was, super defensive or anything like that. I think, she acknowledged what it was. And then, of course, he said, hey, look, I'm a multi-millionaire. This is my game. We don't know if he's exaggerating, but maybe his chain is real gold. But bottom line is, I think that situation got nipped in the bud right there. And I'm sure Patrice probably is going to go back at the next ladies' lounge or whenever she's chopping it up with the girls to let them know that it was a misunderstanding.
I hope she does that if he clears it up. But the way he came at her was a little snappy attitude. I mean, this was a perfect opportunity for you to say, hey, I know we had a conversation about this, but that's not what I meant. What I meant was this. You don't have to go around, I'm a multimillionaire, blah, blah, blah. But clear. I know we spoke on the phone. I said I was sleeping at the house, but this is exactly what happened. You don't have to get like that. She's a lady at the end of the day. Yes, you probably wasn't clear. And of course, first impression is everything. So I think it's important as a man, if you don't want to look broke, then you don't say broke shit. And if you have something that might sound semi-broke, I think it's important for you to be clear about it, If you're grabbing blankets to sleep on the floor because this is one of my houses, it'll be a whole different story. It's one of my houses I'm staging. I'm too far away from home. It's just so many ways that you could have explained that so you wouldn't come off broke. And even this scene right here was a perfect opportunity for you to clear it up on live TV. Yet, you mad, defensive, and calling yourself a millionaire. Which you might be, but it was not necessary. It's so much better for you to just be clear. Hey, Patrice, you may have misunderstood. I was not sleeping on the floor because of this. I was sleeping on the floor, or I was sleeping on the bed. I had blankets in the car because I own multiple houses in the city. That's a humble brag right there.
Absolutely.
Humble brag.
And taking, I agree with everything you said. Taking that approach, Patrice would then receive that and take that back to the girls. Oh, I stand corrected. I misunderstood the situation. This is the situation.
And he cleared it up very nicely. And he cleared it up very nicely. And he's back being part of my connections.
Yeah.
Now that you found out he got some coins.
Exactly.
No, but Will is not my type of man. Anyways, I don't care how much money he has.
Yeah, to me, he's
very
now that
sassy.
Lamar's gone, he's the next one up.
Yeah.
All right. So then they pan over to William and Maya. Right? They're taking pictures together. A lot of physical touch going on, and I think Maya says something like, I feel so little and just so
That's a good feeling.
Protected, around this guy or whatever. So
can I say something?
Yeah, of course, baby.
Appropriate for physical touch, by the way. If you look at his hands,
yes.
They were nowhere below the waist. It was like not a grasp. It was a nice soft touch of a certain area, which is around her tummy. Cute.
Women love that. When
do.
it's appropriate, yes absolutely. And they were laughing and joking.
It was very cute.
Yeah, when the pictures came out, I think he said something like, I hope it ain't too dark. And then, of course, it came out dark as hell, and they was cracking up.
Yeah.
And I think Maya ended up saying that, she seems to like him, that he's a sweet dude and this, that, and the other. So I feel like, that can potentially grow to something.
Yeah.
We gotta see.
Yeah, I actually like William. If I was attracted to him, he would have been on my number one personality-wise, the way he treats them. He's just a really sweet guy, and he's just doing everything right so far. But I saw the preview, so we're gonna keep on watching.
Right. All right, and next we had Justin and Mika talking to each other.
Yeah.
And Mika said she was really looking for an opportunity to have a one-on-one with him. She thinks he's cute and all that. So they get together, and of course, what stands out? Mika's body language again. Like, this woman I don't even see a smile on her face, okay? So the combination of the body language and then that interview style she has is, all right, throwing out all the questions. But, props to Justin. He adapts pretty well, too, to the people that he's dealing with. And, midway through the conversation, she's kind of smiling a little bit. I think what kind of made that happen, though, is the fact that she had asked him what he feels about kids or having kids. And he was pretty much the first guy that she's met that was like, I'm not pressed to have children. It's not something that I need to do. And of course, she tells him that she has two, children of her own. How would he feel being like in a stepdad role? And, Justin, he says he's good with it. Mm-hmm. It's not an issue, this, that, and the other. But, he's a young man.
It's not believable to me. I'm sorry.
He's a young man. And I think a lot of people, when you don't really know what that entails, you could say whatever you say. But being in that situation, and we're not talking, I know her one kid is 18, but the other 6, 6, this is a kid that's in first grade.
So I stand correct. I do think that she has 2 different fathers.
Okay.
I do think so, but I could be wrong.
How could she have 2 fathers, though?
Well, 2 different baby daddies. Yeah. I think so. I'm not 100%, but no judgment. That's a huge gap. 18 and then another one at 6. It can happen.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah.
What's always missing when these conversations happen is questions about the relationship with the father of these children. And this is a big deal. It
is a big deal, and I hope they have that conversation. But personally, if I was on this show, certain conversations I would have off camera, and that's a conversation I would have off camera. I would not ask that question on camera because there's a lot of sensitive things could happen. Domestic violence. It could be something big. It can be something that she's not ready to talk about, and you don't want to put her in that situation on camera.
That makes sense.
So I wouldn't do that on camera.
Okay. So all in all, it seemed like a good little date situation. And I think Mika, she was smiling at the end. I think she might be interested. I don't know that it's going to go anywhere. I'm just saying that was like the first time I actually saw Mika start a conversation with her normal body language and look and interview style and end with smiling and joking and touching Justin.
Yeah, I'm not convinced with Mika. I'm not convinced with Mika at all. I think Mika's going home tonight. I haven't seen the whole episode, but I think that she's going to be at the bottom and going home tonight. I don't see a connection with anyone. I think Justin is just a chameleon and he knows how to adapt to the situation. But I don't think he's really feeling her at all. Mika is my bottom, and I think she's going to be everybody else's bottom. And I'm predicting that she's going home tonight.
Okay.
Dang, what you think, baby? What you think, baby?
I don't know.
All right, so in the next scene, the camera pans over to Kosheia and Jonathan. They're just having a little surface conversation about what's your favorite color. Both of them like black. And then Laron comes and interrupts and steals Kosheia, and they walked into the sunset. And what happened, baby?
It was everything but the sunset.
They walked into the smoke.
I mean, man, Laron, just his whole energy, the way he, interrupted, the way they walked off, and she tried to hold his arm, and he's like, he ain't even let her hold his arm. This brother went from 0 to 100 on jealousy and being in his feelings.
Yeah, it was kind of strange, but the whole time he was arguing or getting upset, there was a smile or a little smirk on his face. That's a little strange to me.
Yeah, I don't know. That was crazy. So they end up, sitting together at this table, and Laron basically starts breaking down how he feels that he thought he was Kosheia's number one connection, and she's over here smiling in other men's faces, and I mean, straight jealousy. Like, I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I didn't hold this dude to a high standard to begin with, but damn, my man just flipped the whole script. But anyway, he pointed out that he had texted her, and she was shutting him out. Like the text that she responded with was a bit mysterious. The timing of it was different. It was crazy. I was like, I didn't even expect for this dude to go there. But anyway, Maya shows up while he's conversing with Kosheia, and I guess she says something like, he's the party boy or whatever. So he just immediately gave all his attention to Maya. It was straight up disrespectful the way he got up in the middle of this, pretty meaningful conversation, and then just starts hugging on Maya, kissing her, all that. And obviously, Kosheia felt some kind of way about it. And from that point forward, the whole conversation just went downhill. Kosheia starts crying because of the way Laron was being so direct and coming at her. I think Laron starts cursing. Chaz even needs to jump in because, she's crying. He's not trying to console her in any way. Now Chaz, that could be genuine or that could be just a little show for Vanessa who was across the table. But whatever, I'm not going to question that. But then, Laron ends up not taking any heed to what Chaz is saying and actually walks away from the table.
And said, if she wants me, she can come find me. How disrespectful.
Damn.
And Koshia's crying. I'm like, why? First of all, I don't even... Of course, clearly they cut the scene, so we missed a lot of parts because those tears came out of nowhere. Although, y'all know how I feel about Chaz. I think something's up, something's off. Can't put my finger on it. But y'all clearly agree with me in the comments last week. Nonetheless, I felt that was the right thing to do. Especially they're arguing, she's crying. Laron should come around and, pull her away, have a sidebar conversation on their own, one, and make her feel, just kind of talk to her and try to calm her down. But he did not do that. Instead, another man is doing that. And yeah, so I just thought that was extremely disrespectful. And, although I'm not a fan of Chaz yet, I still feel like Chaz is, something's going on, something's a little fishy. But I think that was the right thing to do, trying to ease the situation. And I do feel like he stepped up to Laron like a man and, try to diffuse the situation. And Laron still ended up walking away and saying if she wants me, then she can come find me. He's in his feelings. He's immature. He's not a good man. And they're not a good match.
Absolutely.
Because she got her issues too, don't get me wrong. But Laron, to me, was in the wrong here.
I agree. 100%. And this little stunt that Laron just pulled, let me tell you, first of all, she needs to cut this dude off completely. That's first. Secondly, once this gets out to the rest of the girls, I mean, damn, Laron might be on the chopping block. Because who's going to want to be with this dude when he just showed the jealousy that he showed?
Wow. Insecurity.
Wow. Show his ass.
He showed his ass. How
damn.
Embarrassing. Yeah. So as Laron is walking out, Will is having a conversation with, or look like he's chit-chatting with Alexis. And in confessionals, Will says, Laron, that's the Latin... He's referring to...
Kosheia's the wrong one to mess with.
Kosheia's the wrong one to get into it with because she will lie and something. Do you remember everything he said?
Yeah, she said something like, Kosheia will lie and blow things out of proportion. Where did
that
come from?
It seemed misplaced to me, but something's going on. Something is going on. The fact that he even said that, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
And then the camera pans back over to Kosheia and Chaz and Vanessa. They're sitting at the table, and Chaz says to Kosheia, "Do you mind if I go out and talk to Laron?" And Kosheia's like, "No problem." So I think Chaz did the right thing. And a lot of times you do not see black men kind of standing up for what's right, publicly standing up for what's right. Let's say that. And I appreciate that he went out there and, had a conversation with Laron and basically called him out and said, you were wrong. You were not listening. You were being dismissive. You cannot listen if you're being dismissive. And, at the end of that conversation, it seemed like Laron wasn't really having it. But at the end, it seemed like he kind of understood, but he was still in his feelings and basically not man enough to just go back in there and apologize. He just kind of wanted to stay out and just not apologize and be in his feelings. I wonder how much alcohol has had to do with this, right, babe?
That's a good point. That's the one thing we don't know. It was such a switch that usually alcohol could be a factor.
Exactly.
But some people, that their true self is there. It just takes something to trigger that to come out.
Yeah, and now I'm like really want to know more about Laron. And if is all this partying due to some insecurity or self-esteem issue? I'm very curious to know what's going on with Laron because that was definitely not a good look at all.
Not a good look at all. Absolutely. I don't have much to add. I know Justin came into the group as well, and just kind of pointed out that, you know, if a woman's gonna start crying and reacting like that, well, clearly she's into Laron, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, obviously Laron has his issues, but even in the face of getting good information from Chaz, the ego gets the best of these guys, and it's hard for you to accept what's being told to you. And props to Chaz, by the way. He was dropping some jewels right there.
Yes,
he was telling them like it is. And you know, I also, like, in a situation, I don't deal with many of those situations because I'm such a drama-free person. I try to not even be around people that can cause that. But I have been in situations like that. And to be quite honest with you, sometimes I'm like, you know what? That's their problem. I ain't even about to deal with it. So that's why I do give credit to Chaz for stepping in, you know, having this conversation with Laron, clearly understanding that Laron is, you know, kind of an ego-driven type dude.
Right.
That came across, but he still did it. And when Laron was out there, like you said, you know, he didn't come right back in and deal with the situation, but I think he was pondering everything that was told to him.
And I feel like this is an example of why it's important that men call each other out, you know?
Absolutely.
Because I'm not going to get into this too much, but I just feel like that was just an amazing. He didn't hear it, but when a man came up, he didn't hear it when Kosheia was trying to tell him. But when a man came up and talked to him man to man to let him know what his reaction just caused and what he did, like, he heard him out, you know?
Yeah.
And even if he may not, I don't know what goes on next. So this is our first time watching, but he may have not gone back to apologize, but he felt it. And
Absolutely.
If Kosheia doesn't get an apology, I know that he will watch his reactions next time, maybe with another woman.
Yeah.
Right, baby?
I agree.
So, I feel like men need to call each other out a little bit more.
Absolutely. All right, so in the next scene, there's a game that's being played. Man. Truth or sexy. Okay, and this ended up being crazy. Okay? So I guess the premise of the game, you could ask a person for a truth, or you could ask them for a sexy. If they say sexy, then they have to do some type of sexual act or sexy act. So it starts with Chaz asking Patrice, who is the sexiest man in the group. Now, you know, Patrice ended up saying that Chaz was. And she felt, I think she also said that most women in the group would also agree that Chaz is
most
the
women
sexiest.
and men. She said,
and men. So whatever, I guess he's the sexiest dude. I actually kind of was, you know, why does Chaz have to even ask that question? Almost like he wanted to boost his own ego.
I felt like
a
that
little
too,
bit.
baby. But it's kind of like, how did you know she was going to choose you? Because sexy is different for everybody.
I mean, but you put her on the spot. Right, it's real easy that if you put a woman right on the spot, and she's not the type that wants to make an awkward situation, the probability of her saying that the person asking the question is the most sexy is high.
Right.
And so Chaz, I feel like, you know, and don't get me wrong, you know, Chaz, he presents well, he's coming correct,
mature,
but it's a boost of the ego sometimes.
And he looks like he needs that.
And he looks like he needs that.
Reassurance.
Absolutely. So that's how I looked at that. All right, so then the next question was asked by Dominique, and I believe he asked Kosheia, is it true that Laron is your top connection? Now, considering what just happened in the previous scene, I mean, damn. Was that a random question? I don't know.
I think production.
I don't know. That was messy. I'm starting to think the producers are instigating. But man, what a question. So Kosheia, surprisingly, after all that just transpired, still said Laron was that dude.
No, she did not say he was the dom. She said
no. She didn't say the dom, but the top connection.
She said, and you could clearly see. She said, "Is he my top connection?" Yes, he is my top connection. Because the original question was, "Is he the dom? Is he the man?" So that answer.
Well, no, not the dom, the don.
Don? Oh, that's
yeah,
what
like
it was?
Don Juan, like the pimp Don Juan. Like
I thought it was Don Juan.
Like the man, you know?
Oh,
Is it Don Juan?
I don't even know.
Right,
Don or Dom, one of them.
Hey, put in the comments, is it Don Juan or Don Juan? I think it's D-O-N as in November.
Honestly, I don't even know what I think it is. It's either Don or Dom. Yeah. But nonetheless, the answer to that question would have been no, I think. But she said,
Right.
because he had said, who's your top connection, she specified, she said, who's my top connection? Then she said, yes, Laron is my top connection. I think they are connecting, but I think she's done with him now.
I think she's done. And of course, you
I
know,
hope
she's very emotional too. So
She is.
I would have liked to hear her say he was
Me
my
too.
top, you know, but whatever. She's clearly an emotional person, and that would have just you know, kind of exacerbated the issue.
Yeah, and Laron was like, I don't see it, I don't feel it, whatever
Yeah.
he was saying. He has issues,
That
y'all.
dude-
He's
that
a
dude
very
got issues.
he's a very sassy man.
Right, exactly. And jealous as hell,
Yes.
and insecure. But anyway, all right. So the next one was Mika asking Maya to twerk on the person that they're least connected with.
No, baby, she ain't said that. She
No?
said, throw that ass in a circle on your weakest
She did say
connection.
Yeah, she did ask that. And Maya ends up going straight over to Justin. But before that, I just want to point out,
Body
Maya
language.
was all over William on that couch, okay? Like, hand on his leg. And when that question was asked to Maya, look at the look on William's face.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't want to see that. All right, so then Maya goes over to Justin, starts twerking. You know, I'm sure Justin might have felt some kind of way. I mean, who would to be the least connection?
I mean, but I'd be happy to get twerked on.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's true.
And he even said, I like the way, I like Justin. Justin kind of split. He said, what did he say, baby?
No, he said something like, if this is what she's doing now, imagine what she would do if we were connected
Exactly.
or something. Or if I was
So,
her top
I'm very
connection.
curious to know what happened between them, right?
Yeah, because we
I
didn't
just-
see anything.
I just feel like they would have been a perfect pair. She's 30, he's 34. Both of them don't have any children, so it's kind of like, what happened? Where you're not interested in him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or it could just be, you know, sometimes
the
it's
connection ain't just
right out the
just ain't
gate. You
there.
just ain't feeling
Yeah,
somebody.
but I would love to
physically
have seen that because I think that was just. I think that he's a perfect fit on paper for Maya.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
But
I agree.
clearly, I would love to see that happen. Yes.
All right. So then the next question was Maya asking Will to kiss the feet of his strongest connection. And of course, I think we all knew he was going to head over to. Even Alexis said, "I knew Will was coming my way." So he heads over. It looked like he kissed her feet, but apparently he didn't. He kissed his hand and then rubbed his hand on her feet.
And I would have done the same exact thing. So, Will, from Florida people to Florida people, I'm with you on that one. Job well done.
That's true. We don't know how long it was since she washed the feet. All right. So next question was Laron, and he asked Jonathan to whisper sweet nothings into the ear of his strongest connection. And damn, did Jonathan just, in my opinion, he screwed that whole shit
He
up.
overstepped.
Overstepped, disrespected, put Alexis in such an awkward situation.
And he didn't read the room. Pay attention to her. Like, when you feel resistant and you're trying to open a woman's legs and there's resistance,
Done.
stop.
Let it go. Let it go.
Okay?
Yep.
Everything, that did not look good. That did not look good. It
Yeah.
looked very bad. Oh,
And it was bad for a couple reasons, right? The one that you said about spreading the legs. She had the kind of pajamas where, you know, the top is kind of open. I don't even know if it has a button. So now she's kind of got her, I don't know if that was a bra. I don't know what that situation. So it's like, you know, chest to chest on there.
It's too much.
Too
darling.
much. And then the resistance. You know when a woman feels completely comfortable versus uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was just looking at kind of the way she was moving while she was up there. I know she had her hand around his head, but
She had to do that so she would have fell.
She could have, exactly. And sometimes, look, at the end of the day, sometimes women find themselves in an awkward situation like that, and they really don't know how to act, right? It's all happening so fast. But one thing that you know as the man is they're not completely comfortable in the situation. And he should have stopped that. And it got to the point where, look, people had to step in. They literally had to pick her up and get her off of him. And then, you know, people were whispering in her ear after the fact. Yo, you good? You all right? I think Justin asked. I think Will asked.
Right.
Yeah, that was an awkward situation.
Very awkward. Another thing I noticed, y'all, if y'all look at Jonathan's right upper arm, he's branded, so he is a Q. And he just did some cute shit. But some college cute shit. Not like grown man cute shit. Like
For
that was
real.
it was a strong no.
That was
Strong no.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I think Jonathan he's already been a little suspect in the eyes of some of the women because of withholding certain information about the marriage, blah blah blah. But that behavior right there, he's dropped down a bunch of tears.
Yeah, that was bad. He's coming off a little like awkwardish.
He is.
Right? You're saying that?
He's
like,
coming off like he learned how to be a man from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
He did say that.
We just gotta sometimes listen to what people say.
Yes. The signs were there, ladies. The signs were there.
Yes.
All right. So in the next scene, Tommy comes in and he wants to deliberate with the men. So he asks the ladies to leave. And so he can ask, have a conversation with the guys. So he basically asks the men, who are you feeling? And Jonathan says Alexis. Jonathan cannot read the room clearly. He's like, he really likes Alexis, but I don't think Alexis is feeling him like that. But nonetheless, I digress.
And even if she was, I mean, he done changed that.
Exactly. He's corny. Will says Alexis. Dominique says Alexis, so that's good. Chaz says Vanessa. He calls her a goddess. And he says she's clear, she's articulate, she's able to express her needs and her wants, and he likes that about her. And I feel like at that age, that's what you should want in your woman. Somebody who's able to communicate very clearly what she wants, right? So I like that. And honestly, they look like a good match. Alonzo says Patrice. It's organic. And he was smiling throughout the whole thing when he speaks about her. And they kind of pan back to little flashbacks on what happened in that episode. And they were at the photo booth taking pictures. And honestly, they're just, on paper, they don't look like a match. But when they're together, that energy is there. It looks fun. They give me Bobby Whitney type vibes. Yes, I like them. I really do.
Yeah.
And then William says Maya, which y'all know how I feel. Like, I'm still surprised that Maya's really into William. But I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, William is Williaming. Yes. And I like him.
And by the way, I'm just surprised that more people are not into Maya. Maya seems, she's a pretty woman. She's sexy.
She don't have any kids.
Yeah, good energy.
Yes. Not that it's nothing wrong with women who wants kids, don't have any kids, but a lot of these women in this episode don't want any children, and I feel like more men should be gravitating towards the women that don't want children, that still wants children, and especially the ones that do not have any kids.
Right.
So I feel like Alexis and Maya should be like Don Juan.
Right.
Dom Juan. Nonetheless, yes.
Yeah.
So then, Justin surprisingly chose Mika, and he says she seemed like the type of woman to reciprocate.
Yeah, reciprocate, not reciprocate.
Reciprocate the love that she provides. So,
yeah. Also, Laron was asked, right?
Laron, oof,
and man, even with all that he went through with Kosheia, he still picked Kosheia. He pointed out that there's a lot of emotion involved. There's a chemistry there. Almost like part of what they're experiencing proves that there's something there. That's kind of what I think he was headed towards with that.
But I feel like that's a mistake a lot of couples make. It's toxic. Toxic is toxic, and it's time for you to let that go. Yeah. But that's how I felt about that situation. I feel like Laron is jealous for no reason, right? And because she tried to explain that this is a process, I'm letting you do the process, and I'm enjoying I'm going through the process as well.
Right.
And it should have been left at that, but he was so much in his feelings. But yeah, I think that's a done deal. I think Kosheia needs to look at that as a red flag and proceed.
All right, so then everybody starts talking about who they're least connected with. It was pretty much all over the place. There are some names that came out a few times, like Kosheia, but Mika. She I think about 3 or 4 people said Mika was bottom of their list.
All right.
So we'll see.
One thing I do notice is that Jonathan and Will seem to have this like little battle for Alexis. You notice that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think Jonathan lost that battle, at least right now.
I think Alexis feeling Will, clearly.
Right.
Will is a little bit, and I don't like Will either, but Will is just a little bit more smooth. He's a Florida dude, so I know how they are. I know how my peoples are. A little bit more smooth. They don't like to show too much emotion. So he's gonna come off a little bit like not over the top like Jonathan is,
right,
with his emotions, you know.
right.
So that's where I think it's going.
Yeah, and clearly he, is a step ahead now because of what Jonathan did. All right, so Tommy asks the men, who are you least connected with? And, the men were kind of all over the place. Everybody had different people. I think Mika's name came up the most. And Kosheia came up as well. And I think that actually prompted Laron to question, like, damn, does Kosheia have a lot of red flags that I'm ignoring? He questioned that. But I believe Mika is going to be the first to
me
go.
too. But what made you think LaRon questioned that? The look on his face?
Well, the look on his face, and he also said it. He said, it sounds like a lot of red flags.
He said that in the confessionals?
Yeah, when all these guys were mentioning these different things. No, yeah, wait, I think it was the confessionals, yeah. And he's like, maybe I'm just overlooking it. So, I mean, it's a good observation, but I think he's got a lot of red flags too. Exactly. So she could be saying the exact same thing.
They are both red flags.
Yeah, so we will see. All right, last scene. We got Tommy, telling everyone that someone's got to get eliminated. And the person delivering the information is the most upstanding man in the group, Will. Yeah, side eye.
I think his delivery was pretty...
He did well.
Job,
I just, I think...
for my Florida people.
I think the producers know what they do.
Right.
So basically, Mika and Kosheia end up on a chopping block. And Will basically, says some positive things about each, and then he jumps into the negatives. So Mika went first. Will said that the consensus amongst the men is that she's giving off homie vibes. Now, I didn't really hear that from anybody except for William. If you recall, William told Mika directly, like, yo, you're cool, this, that, and the other, but there's no connection there. I mean, that's basically saying homie vibes. It is possible Will just kind of exaggerated the fact that the bulk of the men felt that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But we all knew that, Mika wasn't getting much love. That approach that she had with, interview style questioning, no flirting, body language. I mean, this is where it ends up getting you.
Ladies, if I can give y'all any advice, flirt. Use your femininity. Flirt. Like, there's no reason for you to be sitting at a table with a man and you're not flirting. If you want him to know that you're interested, you flirt. You don't have to be direct, but you flirt. Okay? But do you agree?
I do agree.
Flirt.
Yeah. I mean, nobody was feeling her, but it was a variety of reasons with her, all right, because you can remember, she didn't want kids either. So, that disqualified a bunch of men right out the gate. So that's another thing.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. So, all right. So then Kosheia, wow, I guess Kosheia was not even feeling the fact that Will was the one delivering the information. She was like, I guess Barnum and Bailey Circus is in town. Called him a clown. Said his chain was fake. Said that he was full of shit. Like, damn. So clearly, what's interesting about that? There's a beef there, and I don't know what that stems from. I mean, I feel like we missed something, or they didn't air it.
There's some behind the scenes stuff going on. It's probably something going on via text or something, but there is definitely some hate, some tension. They do not like each other. I don't know why, but they both throwing shade.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm curious to know what the deal is.
Yes. And so, Will says some positive things about Kosheia. And then, of course, the negative, he said, was that a lot of the men thought she was off-putting, that there was a lot of chatter amongst the ladies and the men. Damn. And they did pay him real, quickly to Laron, and he kind of gave a little, look like, I guess, because that's his number one connection. So I guess he wasn't feeling that. But bottom line is, they did not make a decision tonight. We don't know who's going, but if we had to make a guess, my guess is Mika. What's yours, baby?
So my guess is Mika, but I am tilting my head only because Will is delivering the message, and I know where they they like messiness, and I feel like because Will and Kosheia is not getting along, they will choose Will to eliminate her just to be messy. So I kind of feel like it might be Kosheia, which I wouldn't be shocked. I did look at the previews and I did not see neither Kosheia or Mika. I didn't see neither of them. So we will see.
We will see.
Yeah, but nonetheless, drama wise, this is my favorite season of Ready to Love.
Yeah, this has been very
Fort Worth
entertaining.
is giving us some tea, some drama. They're not really giving us love, but yeah. This is definitely entertaining. I will say that.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to next Friday. Anything else you want to add, honey?
That's it, baby.
Let's close out,
Yes,
y'all.
thanks
Thank you
again.
so much for tuning in. Thank you for the love. Please feel free to like, subscribe. We have a lot of videos coming, especially now that I'm done with my test. I have a birthday coming up, so we're celebrating this month. But that's basically it. And on that note, TND is
Out.
out. Bye, y'all.
Weather.